Hey, look at that, Evan. 131 episodes.
That's crazy. And I'm always like bewildered with the episode numbers after right as we do this because it doesn't feel that long to me.
We're coming up on 5 years, buddy.
That's insane. That's insane. No, we just come on here, we talk the shit, we shoot the shit.
I am the shit.
We are the shit. Yeah. And now 130 episodes later, I'm always like, maybe that includes commentaries, but if they did, it would be like a 600.
It does not.
It does not. It's been a long time coming. But we're back. I think our last episode was like last month, talking about Alien Romulus and other stuff.
We announced a lot of next commentaries, which have been delayed to do other content.
Exactly. We did the wheel, and now we're like, now we're just doing acolyte stuff.
It doesn't help that we're going into spooky season.
It doesn't at all.
We'll get there. Nice fall, Thanksgiving Maze Runner run.
Exactly. It was funny because we were going to do Maze Runner in September. I'm like, oh, that works perfectly. The first Maze Runner came out in like the second week of September 2014, I think. I always remember the first Maze Runner as a September movie because I got the Blu-ray for Christmas and it came out recently in December that year. Those quick turnarounds. But yeah, we're back. There's been a lot of news in between now and then, but F it. We're just gonna talk about the most recent stuff. But do you want to start off with the news or start off with the TV shows? Where do you want to go from here?
I guess news is quicker.
I haven't watched that Thunderbolts trailer actually.
I haven't either.
We talked about it
not officially because I think it's the same Comic-Con trailer.
I think the same Comic-Con trailer. So I was just like, oh, I'll watch it later. I didn't see the Gladiator 2 trailer either, but I can pull up the fucking. I had no school today, but I was at a teacher. What'd you say?
Could have done this earlier. I'm just kidding. In my traditional fashion, I just watched these shows.
Nice. I was at a teacher professional development thing. So I was too busy to actually sit down and watch the trailers. I'm like forgetting the title of the movie. What the fuck is it called again? Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. Asterix.
Not putting the fucking asterisk on it. Kevin Feige's like, if you want to know what the asterisk means, you gotta wait to see them. Nobody cares about the fucking asterisk, Kevin.
You say that, but what if it's like, that's the fucking 10 rings? Shang-Chi's back, motherfucker.
That's
now I got you. Now I got you.
You got me. If I don't got me, the 10 rings got me. I don't know.
Every time I'm out.
They get me back in. Okay, finally pulled it up.
I'm a little frustrated at my theater this weekend because
Megalopolis
is coming out and they're playing it in like the tiniest screen. I'm like, why?
Can you see?
We got it. I have a way of. We did that.
There we go. Trying to remember how we do things here. There we go. It's already playing.
I think I don't know. Yeah, that's usually good. It used to be a proper podcast.
There we go. Sounds good.
Now click leave on porch. Your subordinates will be reported to DoorDash HQ.
Alexi, it's me. Open up.
Do I do full screen or are we good?
Milena?
Yeah, do full screen.
Milena!
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about the wait. It was an important call. Highly classified. Lot of work.
Now, what if I told you?
Fire.
Be a good movie.
Feel fulfilled?
What if I told you this could be a good movie?
Yeah, so full. So filled. But
I'll be shocked.
Would you? I mean,
it seems fine.
Yeah.
It seems like one of those grounded movies. Like Black Widow ended up being just fine. This seems to be in the same vein.
In emptiness.
I got you, Lane.
How many courtrooms are we gonna get in this fucking? How many
universe.
Corbins can get an MCU?
Purpose.
Oh,
I
endless.
thought throwing myself into work was the answer.
I feel like we just. You had like the same building from Civil War.
No. The Lagos Hospital? I think not.
Building is like again. I love how you remember what country that was, by the way.
New Wanda drop.
So, yeah. It feels like I've seen this because I think I saw the leaked version.
I think so. Which is like, you could have just dropped it. It was ready, clearly.
It was ready. What are we doing here? How about timing? Oh, that's really cool.
Oh, I forgot Taskmaster's back. I was getting confused with the mask. I was like, is that Ghost? But that is.
Yeah, I was like, a Ghost Taskmaster?
Who are
Oh,
you?
this is Bob.
I'm Bob.
Who sent you, Bob?
Nobody.
I recently
You were all sent?
saw him in something.
You played Bob in Top Gun.
Yeah. I saw him in that
Things.
that Elizabeth
Shadow
Banks movie.
Ops.
I saw the screen
Robbing
unseen.
government labs.
Government
Contact
lab.
Yeah, so.
Contact
So
killer.
someone wants us gone.
So presumably Val wants to kill them off for some reason.
I don't know.
All of
'cause-
them, including Bob.
'cause- I don't know.
We're brought up with this belief that there
That's
are
dope.
good guys
Yeah.
and there
I think it
are
looks really
bad
good.
guys.
A lot of bullet holes.
What's the plan?
Uh-huh.
Was that in a Washington?
Sure was.
That was pure Winter Soldier right
Come to
there.
realize
Right?
that there are bad guys and there are worse guys and nothing else. Look at you.
So this is like the
So
Avengers Tower
adorable.
thing.
I was gonna say, do you think it kind of looks like it? Like you said, we were gonna get some updates on that soon. So it should be nice. That's the asterisk.
Is that
This is like dark Winter Soldier Bucky.
That's not good.
This has got to be like when they're all like coming
Yeah.
into different places. You know?
Yeah. It seems like Christian Earl, oh boy.
Thunderbolt.
Whoops.
It's enough.
It seems like let me, we can. Oh, I heard my name. We can go through this shit.
No,
Oh, you already put it off us?
we're good. You're good.
Okay. Sorry, I'm on the other tab. What was I gonna say? Where's the speed at? There we go. I feel like an old man.
How do I YouTube?
I watch YouTube all the time in terms of like podcasts and stuff, but I never anyways.
I'm so integral with it. I'm like, I'll hold down the space bar for time 2 speed. Hell yeah. So try it. Try it.
It's
Try it.
I click leave on port.
See?
Your subordinates.
oh wow. Nathan put in a
Now that
comment,
said, you said the
"Try it."
0.25, so you should probably mute this.
Probably. What was I gonna say? So it seems like they're all disparate heroes, not even heroes, just like mercenaries per se, doing these jobs for Val. We saw that Yelena was doing these jobs for Val during Hawkeye. Cough cough.
Mhm.
Where's Haley Steinfeld at?
Yes.
By the way, short tangent. Haley Steinfeld's next movie with Ryan Coogler is having the first trailer tomorrow,
Ooh.
titled Sinners, where Michael B. Jordan is like playing twins. It's like vampire related. I can't wait. Ryan Coogler is the GOAT. Anyways, they're all working for Val. They're doing contract killing stuff, stealing government stuff. Like we see in this trailer with the scientist. Where's he at? Like they're all doing things that they're not really supposed to be doing. Jesus. Yeah. Like I would feel pretty messed up if I did this kind of stuff too. I could see this being like the beginning of the movie. What else did I recognize in here? So she was also talking about like risk scientist stuff. Because the main thing was that's not really in this trailer is that Bob is playing Sentry who's like this super powerful Marvel villain turns into a hero kind of thing, I think. So, and this takes place after Captain America, Brave New World. So the idea of like super soldier serums, Jesus Christ, super soldier serums could be like relevant between both films. One like is turning the president into Red Hawk, the other turning this guy into Sentry. But I think, of course, the difference between Sentry and Red Hawk, Sentry is like much more devastating. And Bob, is much more of a crazy, like crazed character in terms of like not multiple personality like Moon Knight, but just like I can't think of the word now. Not dissociative identity, something along those lines. Like he's like mentally ill in his Sentry form, and I can see that being a thing here where he's like, "Oh, what's going on here? Why are you guys all here? Like they're here to kill you, dude." And of course, they fail. They try to leave. But I think Val is trying to be like, okay, all these people tried to get me or tried to help create the serum that is slightly stronger, slightly different than the super soldier serum to get Bob to become Sentry. And then now she wants to like clean up her mess. And, a lot of betrayal spy movies is like, we got to get our way to the top. And then that's when they try to like go after Val for the rest of this movie. But I don't think, Val could be the main villain or could be Sentry. Sentry's kind of like the, what's it called? Villain that doesn't want to be a villain, like he doesn't know he's a villain kind of thing. While Val is like full on, what does he say in this trailer? I'm bad, but I'm not the worst kind of thing. She could be like, the worst is Sentry. He's the worst. You guys shouldn't kill me. Help me kill this other guy. Kind of thing. So I think right there it's like robbing government labs. Probably the lab that's probably going to be creating Sentry at first glance, or it could just be a random lab. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm also very curious how audiences take in the character of this guy, whatever his name is,
John Walker.
John Walker, thank you. It's another example of the post 2020 MCU era of new characters from streaming making their way into film, and sometimes audiences are expected to know who he is, or they'll just do a quick thing about like, hey, this guy kind of has the serum but isn't loved by society, so he's like, that's why he has a shield. Like, it can be very off-putting if you didn't watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm very curious.
He did take it.
We what?
I forgot he took it. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure he did, right? I mean, that's why he was so strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're trying to kill them all. I'm interested to see what Bucky's thing is about, because he doesn't seem to be part of the team initially. He could be doing his own FBC here, own spy thing against Val. What is Val really up to? He's always sus at everybody. So he could be doing his own spy thing, and then he comes to realize, like, oh, these people are also kind of sus. That's why he initially attacks them. But then, of course, he joins the crew. They fight, and then they're mates. The good old, I love that shot, by the way. This is really cool. I think Ghost is going to be a really cool character. That's Ghost, right? That Taskmaster.
That's Ghost, yeah.
That's Ghost. So yeah, they all try and kill him, but they're not teasing any of Sentry's powers. I heard a rumor, I don't know the spoilery, I don't care, that like they're gonna upgrade Sentry's powers in this movie. I heard like Jujutsu Kaisen similarities, because the only Sentry that I know is like from early 2000s Avengers comics where they had like fight Sentry. Like the new Avengers run, the Brian Michael Bendis, the new Avengers run. I think they were fighting. I think Sentry there. Or prior to Civil War, Sentry was there as well. The Civil War event, I mean. So I've only like certain pages of Sentry, not his whole backstory. But apparently there's going to be like some kind of Jujutsu Kaisen what do they call it? Like domain expansion type of thing for his character. Like it's gonna be a bit more supernatural,
Okay.
which can be cool. I don't know. Nothing about that is in this trailer, but you never know. But the big thing is like, how do these scraps try and defeat a character as strong as Sentry? Because they're not going to do jack against Sentry, just not at
Right.
all. But it could be more
That's
of
with
an emotional.
humanity.
Yeah, it could be more of an emotional thing. This is a person who doesn't want to do this, obviously being experimented on by Val, or maybe he willingly took it but didn't know about the side effects. That could be very interesting as well.
Which a lot of them have. A lot. Literally, every one of these people have been used by somebody.
Exactly. I think that could be one of the more emotional, thematic points of the film in terms of like being used by a higher power. In this case, Val. They're all mentally like lost. They don't know where to go. And Val is like using that to her advantage in a sick way. And they can try and like empathize with what Sentry is going through on an emotional level. That could be very fun. Or they could just pull a Suicide Squad and there's like a laser in the sky and they just end up beating them.
I'll do that.
I'm kidding. That's not gonna happen. But yeah. So yeah, this is like the Avengers Tower, right? I wonder if that'll have anything.
Maybe.
She got herself a bar here. Didn't
I will
Tony have
say
a bar?
he did, but it looked a little different. You can get a part installed anywhere, but I will say this whole trailer is lit beautifully.
Sure.
I mean, it's like in comparison to like some
yeah, it's
flat
not. You don't see a lot
that
of.
I would see sometimes. It all looks really nice. Like even like the desert shot when like the cars flipping, like the fucking sunlight's going through the fucking clouds. Shit.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as like gray. I mean, there's some grayness, but overall, it's not as like static as the other. Yeah, like the lighting seems kind of decent. I think I would compare it to like the Falcon Winter Soldier as well, or the Falcon movie coming up. Like, I think they're slightly getting better at like making their movies look like good movies for once. So maybe pay their FX team. Marvel has had a long history of not doing well with their visual effects team. So yeah, that's the whole issue. But I'm with you. I think it looks pretty decent. But again, I don't know if it's going to be a great movie just yet. There was a prediction that came out recently, like not prediction, but a question. Like, what is going to be the highest grossing Marvel movie next year? What's going to be the least grossing movie of Marvel next year? And I think, Thunderbolts might be the least compared to Falcon, the Captain America movie, this, and Fantastic Four. I think I'll put Fantastic Four on top, just based on the cast alone. We all know Blade's not coming out next year, guys. I feel like Herschel Ali needs to leave. He needs to go. Draven, what's up, man? It's going to be interesting to see how Sentry is handled here. Most of the time in the comics, he either used as a Deus Ex Machina or a jobber that gets taken out pretty quick. Is he though? Am I thinking of somebody else from the comics? Draven, isn't Sentry like a powerful figure? Like in terms of like not a person who gets taken out pretty easily. But like he's pretty powerful. But I guess that could be Deus Ex Machina in terms of like if somebody needs him done, just bring in Sentry. Maybe Draven knows more than me. I'm not familiar.
I have no comic knowledge on Sentry personally.
Yeah, that's why they paid Nathan the big bucks.
That's big risk. I've been coughing a lot.
Nice. I feel like every stream Nathan's on cough drops.
I am, dude. Fuck, I got that long COVID.
But yeah, I'm. The big thing going into this movie, make me care about these freaking characters I don't really care about at all. Besides Yelena, and we already know Yelena is going to get the most character work. She's the center of the movie. Sebastian Stan already says Florence Pugh delivers some great work. She's never turned in a bad performance, so I'm excited to see her leading her own team. Very different from the little sister dynamic that she was carrying around in Black Widow. And I liked the little bit that we got in Hawkeye again, where she's not playing the little sister role. She's more adult-ish, adapting to the new world, having a great back and forth with Haley's character, Kate. So I like that. And now she's leading her own team. How does that feel here? At least leading it for like the most of the movie, not the beginning of the movie. But like, Ghost was a very cool character in Ant-Man and the Wasp. I wouldn't say she was like necessarily fleshed out. She was just very cool, and I think she had a lot of potential. People always shit on the movie because it's not a great movie, but like Ghost was a pretty solid, cool villain, antagonist, I would say. And I'm glad they didn't kill her off. So I hope they do some good character work between like this guy here, John Walker, Ghost, Taskmaster. I don't have my hopes up at all. My expectations are on the floor with Taskmaster. But we'll see how it goes. But again, I think this action sequence looks really dope.
Yeah,
it's really cool. Like, come on, that's really cool. So yeah, we shall see. That's about it. Do you have anything else you want to show from the trailer?
I don't think so. Draven said he's still miffed that Zemo isn't on the team. I didn't know if. I don't think he was.
Oh yeah,
was he meant to be on the team?
On the comics, Nathan.
Oh, okay.
Well,
yeah, right now.
He got arrested, didn't he?
Yeah, he's in a Wakanda prison
because he killed T'Chaka.
So rightfully so.
That'll do it. Yeah. So yeah, I liked Zemo. The whole time watching Falcon and Winter Soldier, you're thinking, oh, they're setting up Zemo to be on Thunderbolts, and then they announced the Thunderbolts movie. Nowhere to be seen. Maybe Daniel Bruhl has a packed schedule, couldn't fit the movie in time, but
maybe he'll have a prison interrogation scene like Christoph Waltz in No Time to Die.
Probably. So yeah, because I feel like he would be an easier replacement for a character like Taskmaster or something who's probably going to be mute for the movie, unless are they going to get a different person to be in the Taskmaster suit, or just the same? I don't even know who it was. It was just a random.
Why? I mean, I don't know specifically who the actress was, but I mean, they distinctly showed her face. She had like some scarring, but it was still like a person.
Yeah,
she could be healing and find her own voice.
I haven't seen the when they bring the cast out on stage at Comic-Con. I don't know if she was part of that cast and crew. But maybe she was. Maybe she's doing fine. So, but I think Zemo would have been much more interesting. But of course, it would have created more of a heavy dynamic because he's such a big character. It's like, what do you really do with him in a team?
Right.
But okay, that's Thunderbolts. I think it's going to be decently successful. I'm kind of predicting it's going to cap out around like 500 million. Wow, Fantastic Four and the Fantastic Four probably I'm thinking it's going to do like Guardians, Guardians 2 kind of stuff where it's like 700 to 830 kind of thing. A very big high ceiling for Fantastic. And then Falcon, the movie, is probably going to be around, I don't know, 600, 700? We'll see.
If it's really good, I could see it doing $1 billion.
You think so, Cap?
Yeah, leading Cap movie, but also it's Sam's Cap. It's like, oh yeah.
My Captain America's not black. I'm not watching it. No, I'm not. I don't know. But it's coming out in February, Black History Month, so never forget the black audience, people. They're going to probably pull up and support.
Did the first Black Panther hit $1 billion?
Oh yeah, first one is like what?
What the second one do? What Wakanda Forever do? That was November release.
What did it do? I think that was like in the 800s, like 850, 880, 860. Like it was very successful. But yeah, I think the first one was like 1.3 billion for Black Panther. Am I wrong, guys? 1.2, 1.3 I
hate these two being so close together.
It's July is sick, guys. The first week is Jurassic World or Jurassic World Rebirth. We didn't talk about that, but that's happening. Rebirth, and then followed up by Fantastic Four, then followed up by Superman, or is it the other way around?
I think that's right. I think Superman's a week or two later.
Yeah, I think it's last, which obviously benefits Soups. Which I think out of those four, or out of those three, which one do you think is going to be the most successful, Nathan?
Wow.
Can't really discount Dinos on the international market too.
On the international market, no, that's pretty great. Because even like, didn't even like Fast X gross pretty high? Because it's big internationally.
It grossed. No, it actually was one of the lower ones. I think Fast X got 705, I think, million.
That's still pretty high.
Still pretty high because it didn't do well here, but like it made 500 million overseas.
Was like, the MonsterVerse?
It made like 200 here. Like the Fast franchise isn't like the American franchise; it's like international out the ass. By the way, I was incorrect. Jurassic World is the first week, July 2nd. Okay. Comes out on a Wednesday. Oh, because July 2nd, July 4th weekend. So yeah,
okay. It'll probably do a very good opening.
Yeah, so we're gonna have like that 5-day Wednesday through Sunday opening for Jurassic World. But then Superman's July 11th, which is the next week. And then 2 weeks later, the end of July, is Fantastic Four: The First Steps, which bodes well for Fantastic Four going into August. Where it's super empty in August. Holy shit.
I mean, obviously, this is going to come down to like I think marketing for both ones.
Yeah, I think they're all going to be.
I hope so. I'd like to believe that. I think Superman will be quite successful with a good word of mouth in its first couple weeks.
I think it'll be the best movie of the month for sure.
Probably. I think they're going to do like a big campaign of like, because they're already like kind of semi-starting with the Christopher Reeves doc of just kind of like bringing back that vibe of like cheerful, happy savior Superman who's just your everyday good guy.
I can't wait for that first teaser, dude. Like that first Man of Steel teaser, boom, boom, like oh shit,
that's fun. That was like an epic grand scale of Superman, and it's
gonna be different,
savior ideas and stuff. But this one here, I think they're really gonna like hone in on that
joy,
that delightful Boy Scout that he is. And I think something that's obviously been like a big missing thing in a lot of superhero flicks is like the actual depiction of heroes saving the common public, like individually, not just like on a mass grand scale fighting the bad guy, but like, hey, someone's like stuck in rubble, let me go help them out. Like
where's my cat in the tree?
That they're definitely gonna do that.
Think so?
I think so, and it'll be fun. And some people will hate it, but it's fine. But I think a lot of people are going to enjoy that. Whereas like Fantastic Four, like other than it having a very stacked cast, it's something people have wanted to see for a long time now. Like another like go at Fantastic Four, but like and also like it looking like you expect Fantastic Four to look, because we watched Fan Four Stick, and that was a very different decal.
It was grounded but not grounded. Yeah, it was weird. That's a good point. Our audiences tired of Fantastic Four as a franchise, maybe, but like on the MCU brand,
like every 8 years,
yeah, I think it's fine. I think the audiences are ready for it. Seeing Pedro Pascal, he's going to be big because of the Gladiator campaign this November, and then putting Fantastic Four in front of that, like people are going to get really amped up for a new superhero team with a great big cast. Yeah.
And I think even like, whether you like it or not, we know RDJ is playing Doom, so I know that's a big word of mouth right now, and I'm sure people are going to want to see like, oh, is Doom going to be, I know Doom's with Fantastic Four, is going to be introducing this, what's the play here?
That's so online people, Nathan.
It is online people, but also like fucking
we're already going to see the movie.
Yes, I know we're all like fucking invested in every article that drops, but when the face of the fucking franchise we're watching the last 15 plus years is like, hey, he's back as this villain, it's like, oh shit.
Here's my question to you though. Do they put him in any trailer if he's in the movie? I think he is in the movie.
If he's in Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
No.
They don't put him in a trailer. I agree.
Unless he's like a big functioning piece of the movie.
Which we doubt.
I don't think so.
Galactus is going to be the big thing. But yeah, I think the theory still stands that RDJ's Doom is the Doom of this universe's or the Fantastic Four universe that we're watching next year. That like old timey but retro futuristic world that's going to have the Doom of RDJ's Doom in it, and then that Doom's going to make its way to the MCU right as the Fantastic Four make their way into the MCU, and then he'll be like the big bad, but not like the understandable big bad as RDJ likes to say.
Yeah, and I imagine that will be the case. Although I will say I think they kind of need him to be a function in that movie because the whole thing with Reed and Victor is that like they used to be people who work together, but then when they were working on a thing that went wrong because like Doom was committed to doing this thing, but Reed was like, the calculations aren't going to work. I'm shutting it down, and ended up scarring him, and he resents Reed for it. Like that's a crux that we have to build.
We talked about this, Nathan. That's why we're so nervous for Doomsday. Where it's like you have to build the Doom dynamic. The Doom dynamic, and that's why I had so much fun. Go watch our commentaries, guys, of Fan Four Stick in the early Fantasy Four movies. They're fun. More ways than one. Read. But
been the giving type.
But we know Galactus is the main villain. We know RDJ is Doom. How are they going to juggle both of those characters in the first Fantastic Four movie? I'm not holding, but especially one that's already supposed to be like, hey, there's your team. We're not going to see the accident. We're not going to see the space stuff. Maybe like via newspaper. But like by the time we watch the movie, the first couple of scenes probably is going to be them already as that world's first superhero family, and that's why they're celebrities in that world, as the rumors are saying. Or no, not even rumors. That's what the cast is saying about their characters. Like they're already an established team. They're an established family. They have an established dynamic, and we're jumping into that. We're peering into that dynamic. Right. So do they have time to showcase the Doom and Reed dynamic? But this also gets into rumor mill, Nathan, over the weekend where Tom Holland supposedly takes with a huge grain of pepper and salt, where Tom Holland signed a new deal for Spider-Man 4, 5, and 6, aka the college trilogy. Makes sense. Predictable, but what's not predictable was that like he has a bigger role in Doomsday than he did in the original Daniel Destin Cretton version of Kang Dynasty, where he was going to play like a side character. Remember in the OG draft, apparently Shang-Chi was the main character. In this draft, obviously because Dr. Doom's coming on board as the main villain now, Doom's going to have a bigger role, and according to this rumor, Peter Parker is going to have a bigger role as well. We still don't know who the main character is going to be of Avengers Doomsday, or the main focus for the audience. You can probably assume Sam Wilson and Captain Marvel, but besides that, Peter Parker is probably the third one. But it does get me nervous that because of the whole RDJ of it all, they're going to make the dynamic more of a Doom and Spider-Man thing more than a Doom and Reed thing. That's just my worry. I don't think Kevin's that stupid. But
I will say, I don't think this is a terrible idea from the standpoint of like, okay, so everyone's going in. It's like, okay, this is Dr. Doom. He's played by RDJ. As the public, we're like, hey, that's Iron Man, but not anymore. And to the universe that we are a part of and is fighting this great threat, it's like, hey, that's the face of Iron Man, but not anymore. But if we have the Fantastic Four come in the fold, and it's like, no, it's Doom, he's a bad dude. And we have the different dynamics of like one universe being like, hey, this is one face we know, but it's not. And then this other one being like, this is a face I know and it's bad news. And it being the main catalyst of Spider-Man being that one side driving and Fantastic Four being the other. And then those two pairing together because they do go together quite well. Spider-Man and Fantastic Four, that could be a great ball rolling for the start of their dynamic and family dynamic going down the line.
You're just selling me on it. You're selling me on it. Nathan's cooking. Because I am just worried. I'm like, Dr. Doom is, me. I love his character. I love his dynamic with Reed. but I feel like they're going to make him more of like a Spider-Man focus just because of the RGJ of it all. And you're not wrong. We could get a good, solid, emotional pull there. But at the same time, I'm like, is that necessary when I just really want Doom to be Doom? But I guess I got to wrap my head around like this Doom is just not going to be comic accurate or just the Doom that I want. I have to get over. I have to wrap my head around that this is just the one movie, maybe two movie version of Doom that's just going to be there to be more of a meta of RDJ than actually a meta of Doom. You know what I mean? Like he's meant to be an RDJ figure because Tony was like their linchpin of the MCU. This era of the MCU is dying or ending with Secret Wars. So it's like to cap it all off, this villain that everybody used to love is now a villain.
It really is like a great.
My head around that. I don't want it, but like
I can't deny it's a great like visual dynamic of like a world who, by this point, I think it would be fair to say in the MCU that the face of Tony Stark is the greatest hero who ever fucking lived because of what he was able to do.
Him and Cap,
in his grand sacrifice, absolutely. So, seeing that face come back, but in a negative light, is a really interesting dynamic, and
it is
the challenging of like not only like the challenging of like fighting a grand threat, but like you're fighting like a face, so because when it comes to variants, like it's like one for one the face, and it's like that face you have so much history with, especially someone who's young and impressionable like Peter was, and we saw how he went with his whole arc of even like losing Tony, and now it's like he's in Rome again, but it's not Tony, it's Doom, and wrapping your head around that as well as like I have to maybe kill this person who in my brain is someone I know and love.
Again, I think that's all very good. It's not the Doom dynamic I kind of wanted or needed.
Sure.
But it could be good. It could be good. Do I trust the Russos to get into that? I don't know. They've coached so far with the Tony and Peter dynamic in Civil War and Infinity War.
It's funny, right? Because we're in a situation where like you could have kept rolling with the Kang stuff. We were on track with really interesting shit. Again, a recast would have been easy because you have the factor of variance, but we're not. And if we are pivoting to this, at least you are having, as like weird as it seemed at first, because like RDJ, what? When you like really stop and like think about where it could go, whether it does or not, but thinking about where the possibilities could go, there's a lot of interesting stuff to not only grasp and follow, but could have very, very good emotional payoffs.
Exactly, 1000%. But a part of me still wants that like Secret Wars Doom from the recent Secret Wars comics, where it's just like this madman who's like an understandable madman. Hopefully they get into that mindset of him, just like, I've been so burned in the past. I'm like this huge intellectual character, and he just wants like affirmation for his role, for his leadership, affirmation for his power, for his country, right? And his dynamic with Reed is so as brothers is so integral to his eventual downfall. I really want that kind of like tug and pull that Magneto and Charles, because that's what it kind of boils down to. Like that Magneto versus Charles is kind of what you get when Doom and Reed are at their best.
This would literally be like the new version of Thanos, because aside from Eric and Charles, in both iterations have been phenomenal and so captivating. Even in like the lesser films, you're like, fuck, they still got it. Like they elevate material so well.
Big time.
Like what other dynamics have we seen that matches that, like to that level?
In the MCU, nothing. We never really had a good villain hero dynamic in the MCU.
Not too many.
Not too many.
Like, not to such a degree. I mean,
and what I'm talking about is like more than one film, because like Black Panther and Killmonger is a fantastic dynamic, but this is just one film. But it's just like
Loki was good, but he pivoted.
True. Loki. I didn't really.
Granted, so does Magneto sometimes. So I think that's probably is like the fairest example. Otherwise, your next great choice for there, before since we're not at the mutants yet, would be Reed and Victor.
Which just again sucks, because I think this Doom is just on borrowed time. He's there to be that Spider-Man emotional like crazy. Like, oh my god, he's meant to be that, and I don't think he's meant to be as much the Doom and Victor dynamic.
Sure.
I don't know because like which one it's hard to balance both, and I think they'll choose the Spider-Man one over the Victor and Doom one.
I would like to believe that they do both, and I also cannot deny, like, if they decide to write those dynamics with Reed and Victor, Pedro and Robert going at it,
that'd be fantastic.
Is fantastic to think about.
There's no time. You're doing Fantastic Four, the next year you're jumping into Doomsday. It's like,
which is a part one, in fairness.
Because then in Doomsday, it's an Avengers movie. It's not even Fantastic Four. So now you have to establish, hey, Shang-Chi, who's our new Avengers, all this, Spider-Man, hello. Sure. And hey, RDJ, Doom, he needs his own backstory. He needs his own, like, because you know Doomsday, the first 5 minutes of Doomsday is just going to be about RDJ and Doom.
Yeah, I'm sure if, like, you know, we'll plant the seeds in Fantastic Four, we will get deeper backstory on Doom in Doomsday, and then we'll have everything laid out that everything can be paid off in Secret Wars, I believe, because, you know, that's effectively what happened in Infinity War and Endgame.
But again, my main hope is that at the end of Secret Wars, they establish a new Doctor Doom that we can lead into for Phase 6. It might be too early for them to be like, hey, Doom's a villain again, but, like, you know, sow the seeds in Phase 6 / like the Fantastic Four / Mutant Saga, like, sow the seeds for like a new Doom that's not RDJ. So eventually, probably by the end of Phase 6 or the end of Phase 7, we can get that good Doom and Reed dynamic that I so want. My main worry is that they're just going to use Doom in these two movies and then wipe the slate clean after Secret Wars. I'm just like, but Doom is a great villain.
I will say, like, I can kind of see a road traveling where there's a greater slate cleaning coming by the end of Secret Wars, where like a like cleaned out, like steam pressed, finalized timeline is set after everything, and everybody is fighting in their own dynamics, where the majority of continuities and new characters still exist and stuff, but then it's like, okay, there is a Doom and there's a Latveria, and it's just there. There's a fucking X mansion in Westchester. Fucking all that shit is just be like laid out, and we can explore this new but continuing MCU.
I agree, and I think after Secret Wars, like, it's gonna be bye. I think Falcon. I think Captain Marvel. I don't know, but like maybe they might stick around, but I feel like it's gonna be so much of a focus on like mutants. There's so much possibility with just like, for example, you could have like 3 semi X-Men films in 1 year. You could have a Laura Kinney movie. You could have the New Mutants movie, and you could have like a Fantastic Four or something. Like, you can do it a whole year of just X-Men related movies for the MCU.
Yeah,
I'm
sure they'll do that. They'll do Young Avengers stuff. They'll stick to like Spidey things, and like,
I don't know how soon we're gonna get like a Captain Marvel 3 or 4, and then a Cap. Sure. Like, how many of these old characters? I say old. Captain Marvel started out in 2019, but just like, I don't know. It's interesting.
I'm sure they could. I'm sure they could keep going. They're all still relatively, a good amount are quite young.
But Thor's going to be done, right? Characters like Thor is going to be done.
Thor's going to retire soon for sure, and that's fine.
The Guardians are going to be brand new, yeah. So
yeah, it's funny, like the whole like thought of like leading to Secret Wars. I've never like stopped to wonder, like, will the Guardians be back in Secret Wars? Are we going to get like our Guardians guy? Or is just Rocket and Groot in the new team?
It's probably just Rocket and Groot and
Star-Lord will return. He's on Earth.
I forgot. Didn't you say that Star-Lord will return or something like that?
It did, and he's chilling on Earth. He didn't have any power, or maybe I don't know, but he's there living a chill life.
Yeah, him and his rocket boots.
Mowing lawns.
So that's about it for Marvel related stuff. For DC, real quick, before we dive into Penguin and Agatha, 44 minutes in. You know, they casted Hal Jordan. You know, James Gunn has already casted Guy Gardner, who's going to be a character. I don't know about major character, but he's played by Nathan Fillion in next year's Superman. They already got Hawk Girl, played by Isabella Merced from Alien Romulus and other shows, Last of Us next year. That's going to be very exciting. They have Mr. T. Not Mr. T. What's his name?
Pay the Fool.
The character with the T on his head. What's his name? What the fuck, guy? He was from Arrow.
Was it?
DC Mr. Terrific. Yeah, there we go. Mr. T,
Okay.
Mr. Terrific.
Yes.
Mr. Terrific, black guy, smart, intelligence, technology kind of character. Anyways, like those Justice Society-esque characters are going to be on Superman, because again, Superman's jumping into a world where he's like not the first superhero. He's like starting his own. While
It also kind of seems like those here. I think I'd heard word that like it seems like those types of heroes are kind of like working under a greater authority of like dispatchment.
Okay. I think I heard that too, but I don't. Do we know who's like they're working for? Is it just Justice Society in general, or
I don't know. I don't know if it's like government led, but it just seems like it's very like a uniform.
Oh, because yeah, this stat showed like they all have similar uniforms. And people were worried because it's like that's not the Lantern suit, and why is he wearing that? And it's like I think it's just like because
Guy Gardner, my guy, like
it's Guy Gardner, and he's like part of a team or like that. But either way, that's one Lantern. And the show, I don't know if we ever talked about. I think we did. The Lantern show is coming out, and I'm extremely excited for it. Just based off of the talent alone, it's going to have that true detective mindset. Again, it's described as having a gritty true detective vibe, as it focuses on Hal Jordan reluctantly mentoring a younger Lantern, aka John Stewart, one of DC's first black superheroes. And the story sees these two characters investigating an Earthbound murder with larger space supernatural implications. And sources say that DC and producers are looking for a young, more fresh-faced actor for the role of John Stewart. But for Hal Jordan, previously rumored was Josh Brolin, Chris Pine, Ewan McGregor. But drumroll, please, we got our guy, and we don't know why. Okay. His name is Kyle Chandler. That's very exciting. Consistently phenomenal actor. I never really watched his OG show, Friday Night Lights. But from the films I've seen him in, consistently great. And I'm very excited. Kyle Chandler is always a consistently great actor. I think one of the most underrated roles was in the movie with Casey Affleck. Casey Affleck, what was it called? Manchester by the Sea.
Oh, he's in that?
He's in that. Unless I'm thinking of somebody else. I think he's plays like Casey Affleck's brother. But anyways, Lanterns, and again, developed by the people who made Ozark, which was my top 3 Netflix series. Damon Lindelof, who made Watchmen and Lost, 2 of my favorite series of all time. And then Eisner Award-winning comic writer Tom King, that legendary Batman writer Tom King. So it's just like this trio co-writing, producing this series of Lanterns coming out soon. Kyle Chandler is the main character. Fantastic. I think this is great casting. Very excited. Unexpected. That's usually how it goes for James Gunn's DC so far. Unexpected, but fitting for most of his cast.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is very exciting, and I'm looking forward to watching Lanterns. Do you think? I think filming starts early next year for probably a 2026 release, or maybe late 2025 could still happen if it's a limited series, like 8 episodes. So they could start at the end of this year. Does it say anything about filming in here? I don't really know. Oh, there we go. Yeah, like I said, they're starting to shoot starting next year, January to June. That's a long shoot. January to June. That's like 5 months compared to like Percy Jackson, which takes like 3 months to film. But like Hal Jordan, that's very exciting. Yeah. And the weird thing is that what's the Hollywood Reporter guy? What's his name? Boris Kitt. He said sources told him that Kyle only has a 1 series contract deal.
Okay.
Which is weird because the character of Hal Jordan, he said you would assume there would be like a film deal in that contract because it's Hal freaking Jordan. Yeah. But nothing yet. So I said like maybe it's just like because there's no Lanterns film in development right now. The only thing is that we know Guy Gardner at least is one character that's going to be in Superman, which is why he was so early revealed. But because there's no Lantern film yet, that's why they're just locking him in for this series and not like a Lantern movie.
Yeah, I mean, also like the fact that he's playing like a seasoned Lantern and we're bringing in John Stewart as the younger Lantern, you can imagine John will be the leading Green Lantern of the universe moving forward anyway.
Yeah. But also, it's the start of a new DCU. Do you really just not want to use Hal Jordan?
It is, and I do like question like some of the options of like taking some of the more famous heroes and just making them seasoned. Like Batman of this universe is going to be an older.
That's a good point. Yeah,
already. Like a big expansive Bat family, which like, hey, you have all your toys to play with now, but like, isn't the point is like we should take a second?
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like the MCU is known for like casting younger characters and hopefully growing them up over the years, like Peter Parker. And that can still be the case for like Damian Wayne. But yeah, Batman's going to be a bit older. But you can also use, like we talked about this ad nauseum when it was announced about like the Bat family thing. It's like, are they really going to have an older Batman at the beginning of a new DCU? But I think RDJ was how old when Iron Man first started? Like, I think he could be like RDJ's age, like when Iron Man first started.
Sure,
and
but
RDJ lasted 10 years.
Yeah, but I think I'm sure like they're also like thinking like we already have like a mega young Batman with Pattinson that's coexisting, so like let's just explore this route. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure, but also I want to see World's Finest Batman Superman friendship, and we're gonna have like a super young Superman with a older rugged Batman again.
Yeah, people love that dynamic, older and younger. It could work out, and
Do I?
Yeah, you tell me.
Sometimes, I mean, if it's the Lantern show, sure, but
yeah,
like
now
I wanted Pattinson to just be integrated all together.
Yeah, I mean, after the first Batman, I'm like, don't integrate at all. Step away, Pattinson.
Oh, it's fine.
No, it's not.
It's absolutely fine. We haven't even experienced the actual overall vibe of this new DC universe anyway. But but even in like experiencing these stories, it's like you go to Gotham, yeah, it's dark as fuck. But like you go to Metropolis, it's a lot more lighthearted. So that shit already coexists anyway. Like you could still do that. And like looking at the vibe of the Batman, now the Penguin, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a bit seedy, but like also that's what Gotham is.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, there's been so many Gotham interpretations. And let's just get into it right now. Talk about the Penguin. Mm-hmm. And fantastic first episode, by the way. But it's just so funny because I'm like, oh, this Gotham doesn't seem that bad. Like, and I think I felt the same way watching the Batman, where it's like, I love the Batman guy. I'm not dissing the Batman. I love the Batman. But it's like, in Gotham is seedy. You get this, you get that feeling that it's corrupt. But at the same time, you're not getting the sense that it's like unlivable. And I think to add to that, I'm with you in the sense of like, you could, if you wanted to, extrapolate that and make it be like, okay, this Gotham is pretty dark, but then we also got other worlds. Like it could still be self-contained within a larger universe. But having said that, like Matt Reeves in every conversations, every freaking interview with the writers of the Penguin, Matt Reeves doing his Batman sequels, he's always just like, we don't want to call him the Penguin because he doesn't like being called the Penguin. Like they're trying their best to keep it very, very grounded within this crazy, corrupt, seedy, mysterious world of Gotham. But at the same time, it's like, he's called the Penguin. Watching the show called the Penguin. Call him the Penguin.
And isn't that funny with like, everyone and their mother kind of like speculating with the Batman sequel of like Winter Mr. Freeze, maybe? Like if you have someone like Mr. Freeze, that's already out there.
Goofy as hell.
I mean, he's a very tragic, sympathetic villain that you can explore. This is great, but like he's got the fucking dome and he's pale with the goggles.
Like, how do you do? Riddler worked out fantastically because this Riddler guy. Riddler's always been like you can make him as crazy as you want or as mundane as you want. And I think Matt Reeves did the mundane but very interesting serial killer-esque vibe with Riddler.
I really like the seeing the effects of like what Riddler has done.
Me too.
There's even like a fucking like straggler on the train wearing his
I was like, yeah,
scan the QR code, know the truth. Like, get the fuck out of here.
That was very funny. I was like, Jalen, is that a Riddler idiot there guy? Just like, oh yeah. It's like half the city is underwater, and you're ballsy enough to go on a train being like, hey, sign this Riddler QR code.
The episode began with news reports, and it's like the lowest level homes are wiped away. This is awful.
I loved that because the news station talking about how, I mean, bad for them obviously, but like the news station is talking about how the lowest levels were hit, the low level income families were hit, but the richer people are doing just fine. Is kind of awful, but at the same time, it's ironic because that's what it's very like meta to like today's events, where it's just like, I don't want to get too serious, but just like people who are like fighting for like, oh, low level income people, and then you do like awful murders, ends up not, the end result ends up being not what like the killers expected. And it's kind of like Riddler's whole vibe is like, hey, the city is corrupt. The people on top are corrupt, and I'm gonna go full anarchist to dismantle the structure. That's why he kills like Falcone, to dismantle the structure, Carmine. And unironically, it ends up just helping the gangsters, as we see in the Penguin series, and it ends up helping the rich who remain in power while the low-income people remain at the bottom. So Riddler, all your ideals didn't end up really changing the status quo. But now, interestingly enough, we're getting Penguin, who's trying to maneuver his way through that status quo by trying to pit Falcone versus Maroni, the Maroni kind of family. So that's very interesting. I like this whole conniving Penguin vibe. It felt like we're back into this world. It didn't feel like too different, because usually like when you watch like an MCU stuff, sometimes you can get like, oh, the MCU world is slightly different than what the world we get like on Netflix or whatever. But like it seems very seamless. It seems like the world we got from the movie.
Yeah, I was wondering how I was going to feel the vibe, because I haven't rewatched the Batman in a minute.
Me neither.
And I didn't do it.
Did we commentary Batman yet?
No, we haven't done any Batman anything.
No way.
We've talked about wanting. It's even on the list of like doing Batman films.
Huh?
We haven't done them yet.
I haven't seen Mask of the Phantasm in like 20 years. I need to watch that.
I mean, I haven't done a start to finish watch. It's in theaters right now.
Yeah, I'm too busy.
It's $5. Anyway.
Too expensive.
But yeah, like when it kicked off and like the music's playing, it's the fucking Batman theme, and I'm like, I'm in.
I love that theme.
It's so good.
I bet Matt Reeves walked in the building, heard that theme. He was like, I wish I could pay you $1 million, Michael J. Keaton, because this theme is just godly. It's a godly.
Yeah. And it's too good. It's too
like,
good.
how do people just like musicians and composers are enigmas to me? Because I'm not creative at all. Like storytelling wise, I can create a good story, but it's like music, like how do you just go from movie to movie to movie, making brand new compositions off the fly?
Music's hard, dude.
It's hard, and composers are doing it like 3 to 5 movies a year. I'm like making Batman, going to do Fantastic Four, and then doing like a low level movie. It's like doing an animated movie. Like Giacchino is all over the place, and you can get some Giacchino isms in there, but like when it hits like a crescendo, you can kind of hear some similar vibes. But most of the time, pretty unique music.
Yeah. Don't even start with Hans Zimmer. Like, use the organ for space. Then I'm gonna electric cello for Wonder Woman. Oh man.
There was to go.
But yeah, I did like how seamless he is to just how on his toes he is about things. Like he was instantly like brought to gunpoint when he was like shifting through stuff that didn't belong to him. He was like, "Oh, save me a trip. This is for you. He wanted you to have it." Like,
yeah,
all the things. It was very funny. But also I like seeing his Arkham brain side, as it were, when like he snaps at an insult and he just guns down a very important person. He's like, "Fuck, what did I do?"
Yeah, that was Falcone's son, right?
Yeah.
Which I didn't know he had like a son. He had, Sophia / the Hangman in this show, played by Kristen Maloney. Fantastic. Fucking tastic.
She has like these like micro adjustments in her face.
Yes,
really good.
I know exactly what you mean. And like I haven't seen a lot from her. I watched one episode of the show. She was on HBO. But then I watched her, of course, in Palm Springs. Love that movie, and very different vibe, obviously. Even in interviews, she's a very nice person. But same.
Arkham couldn't, but I can.
I'm like, she's got an Arkham. I'm like, okay, cool. Like first date, and it's like I just got an Arkham. Cool. I don't care.
Does anyone get out of Arkham?
Yeah, you just walk out.
Like legally?
Yeah. You just walked out, you got your due, and then you're just done. It's like, okay.
Cleared you? It must be a good fucking Arkham. This must be the best Arkham ever.
Yeah, what a nice Arkham. Man, we're going to have the Arkham.
Is Harley working there?
Is Dr. Quinzel? Was she a doctor?
Yeah. Psychiatrist, Harleen Quinzel.
Also, I can fix her. But anyways, she has such great screen presence in this episode. Like she comes out of frame when in the middle of Oz is talking to like one of the mob people under Falcone. Also played brilliantly. I forget his name, Michael something.
Everything.
He's in everything. He's phenomenal character actor, just a chameleon in terms of like the serious. Usually he's like a straight man. I had so much fun watching him on like Amazon's not Jack Reacher.
John Carter of Mars.
Not John Carter of fucking Mars. Nathan. It's a
Watch it.
The one with John Krasinski. He was playing like an agent, CIA agent.
John Clancy? No. John Clancy?
John Clancy, no. Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan, not John Reacher, Jack Ryan. Oh my, these JRs are killing me, people.
These J's.
But
don't get me started on the JBs.
Yeah. John Boyega.
James Bond. Jack Bauer.
Yes.
Justin Bieber.
There we go. My favorite.
There was another. What was the fucking Jason Bourne? Another one.
God damn, it's Jason Bourne. But yeah, he's always great. He's always great. He was great in that show. He's great in a show called Persons of Interest as well. He's great in everything, guys. But anyways, I'm with you. I like seeing Oz, a more layered side of Oz. Not to say that he wasn't layered in the movie. He was playing a very good portrayal of the Penguin, very intro level portrayal. But like we saw like a lot of his like weaselly nature in that movie, and that continues here in this show where we're seeing a lot of his weasel like excuses. The first 5 minutes, he's trying to get this dirt on a lot of politicians. In the rundown version, the rundown like remains of the Frostburg Lounge. Is that what it's called? Iceberg Lounge.
Iceberg.
Yeah, Iceberg Lounge.
I forget. Did he always have that waddle limp?
It feels more severe in this show than it was in the movie.
Is because I mean they did a joke of it when like Gordon
he was just tied up,
so he was waddling. And we were like, haha, Penguin. But like I don't know, was that like from his car crash with Bruce? Maybe.
Oh no, the foot thing's always been there.
Has it?
Always.
Okay.
I feel like it's more pronounced because you see it in this show.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I was like, oh shit!
I've seen all of Oz in this episode.
Yeah. Whoa. Which version did you watch of this episode?
The HBO one.
Damn it! I saw the Amazon Prime one. Maybe that's why.
It's all been censored. The A is for TV.
Yeah, my version. He was just wearing a T-shirt. No.
Penguin unrated.
By the way, Colin did say like they made a whole naked fat suit of
clearly,
which was very cool. Disgusting,
very
but
cool.
Cool.
Loved it.
Loved it. I paused it. I was like, okay, no, I'm kidding.
Just like me.
What was I gonna say? But yeah, I think the club foot has always been there. Just looking at the deformity of it all, I'm like, that's not what you get from a car crash. That's you're born with that, right?
I don't know, man. It looked fresh.
You think so?
I don't think you're born with that. If like you're fucking like foot's like fucking red and joints are healing in the wrong place. I think his foot got ran over or something.
My foot got run over by a reindeer. We should commentary Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Should we?
Yes.
That was a weird fucking cartoon.
That was a weird movie. I remember I saw the trailer for that all the time before like back when your parents used to like, record VHSs or whatever. Sure. And it's like, I used to get that trailer of Grandma got run over by a reindeer all the time. I finally went to watch it. I'm like, this movie sucks.
even subconsciously as a child, I'm like, this is fucked up, isn't it?
It's weird. Yeah, I ran over your grandma. You were looking for the entire movie, and it turns out she's just chilling with Santa. I'm like, Santa, you dick. Why didn't
It
you
doesn't
just
become
come
like a fucking civil court case. What are we doing?
It's weird. Yeah, I'm like Santa. I've been looking for her the whole movie. Why didn't you just tell her? She's like, I felt so bad. I'm like, no, you're keeping her hostage. It's weird. You're doing this so she doesn't sue your ass.
Someone's gonna find his club like, fuck you. I love this. Is my childhood.
But I hope you do. And Grandma had the worst fruitcake. It looked terrible. Anyways,
All fruitcake look the same, and I'm just like, what are these Skittles in a burnt brown?
right?
What is this?
It looked bad. I never had a fruitcake ever, but it looked bad.
Society has told me they're not good, so I never had one. What if I love it?
What if we love it? And I tried eggnog. My family tried eggnog for a year. Not good, Bob.
I never took
It's a
eggnog.
little.
Granted, I probably need to try it again. But also, like, fruitcake is like, I like cake. I like fruit. I know I like warm fruit because I eat apple pie.
I love apple pie. The best pie?
I need to try more pie. I think I really only eat apple pie.
Pumpkin pie? Thanksgiving?
Not really a pumpkin guy in general.
Huh.
I feel like I would love cherry pie or something like that.
Yeah.
You
I love cherry. I love cherry candy, but for some reason, cherry fruit is not good for me.
Okay.
I just don't like it. I like strawberry pie, blueberry pie, apple pie, pumpkin pie, cheesecake.
Watermelon pie.
I can't stand watermelon.
I'm not big on it either. I
I
wish I was, because it's like, it's so fucking like, it's water, but like it's so fucking like a juicy fruit. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But like just the base, it's like, and it's like, I like watermelon candy.
You want that citrus. But yeah, I also do like watermelon candy as well. Watermelon Airhead flavor, one of the best.
We have to do a food podcast.
We did. Nathan, we can't have a podcast for everything.
Just a one-off, just a one-shot.
Evan, we got to do a music podcast. We got to do a horror podcast. We got to do a food podcast. We got to do a TV podcast.
We've never done the horror podcast. It's been 3 years.
Who thought is that?
You're busy.
Me? My schedule's wide open, motherfucker.
Oh, I work 5 days a week.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
I'm not unemployed, but like there is a time where the memes of like your unemployed friend on a Tuesday. I was that guy.
So yeah, like this Penguin show is great. Not much to say. I like the through line of this episode. Okay, one of the more surprising aspects is the dynamic between him and Alex.
Victor?
I forget Victor. Where am I getting Alex from? It's Victor Aguilar. No, I don't know. Victor Aguilar.
I like this guy. I think he's the same actor from the Marvel Runaways show.
Didn't watch it, Bob.
I watched the first season of it. I hear the whole show's really good, and I really like the first season.
Oh, cool. And then you just stopped watching it because you're a dick.
But also, it ended on a cliffhanger, and they're not continuing. So,
damn. Yeah, I love this Cloak and Dagger show. That was like 2 seasons, and then just ended on them finally like holding hands on a bus. I'm like, yes, romance. Canceled.
I'm pretty sure Gifted got canceled. I heard that was good.
Gifted, I watched like the first 6 episodes of Gifted.
I watched that.
It just got boring.
Really?
It came out at a bad time. Gifted, you're a Fox show. You're coming on Thursdays at 9. That's Top Chef time. What are you doing, Gifted?
I wasn't watching it live, but I was watching it in like the heat of like, fuck yeah, Days of Future Past. I'm loving the X-Men.
Yeah, Gifted was like 2014, 2015, 2016, something like that, I think.
Yeah, 15, 16.
Could be 7. Honestly, could be. And I watched it I was watching it. It was during the peak like CW shows, so I was like watching a lot of shows live, trying to live tweet it, and I just got behind. And then I realized like I'm bored from this show. I don't want to watch it. The characters are so whiny. It's like we're on the run, oh, we're in danger, boo hoo, get over it. But anyways, yeah, I couldn't latch on.
Wow. The
Penguin, sorry.
We keep doing this.
I like the dynamic between Penguin and Victor.
Yeah.
Very cool. Speaking of older, younger, old timey dynamic with Penguin, who's like been through a lot of the like ruthlessness of the crime syndicates, and then you have Victor, who's kind of like very low level, just wanted to steal the car because he wanted some money, and then he gets roped into all this kind of stuff.
I feel bad for him, man, because you know how these stories go, getting roped into like this greater thing of crime that
Oh,
can easily go south.
any predictions? Do you think he's gonna die in this show?
I hope not, but if he does, I think there will be probably some sympathy from Oswald, maybe. Because if there's not, I'm like, fucking, yeesh. His mom might go.
I think his mom's dead. Didn't seem like the best mom of the year. Do you agree? Or nice mom, bad mom? What do you think? Complex.
Well, clearly she's for the crime, so probably not the best starting off. But this is
Yeah,
what it
she
is
was
now.
upset at him for leaving Falcone, right?
For like trying to run away.
killing the son, Michael, right? I forget
No,
his
she
name.
was proud of it. She was like, "All right, cool. That was instinct. You're one step closer in everything you wanted."
Okay, never mind.
But it also seems like she has like some maybe Alzheimer's.
Yeah,
Medication. So that's
forgetful.
interesting as well. That aspect.
I've taken stock of the photos as well. He seemed to have had other siblings, but now it's just him and his mom. Maybe I think.
Yeah,
you can assume
maybe they're somewhere else.
Maybe they're somewhere else, or you can assume the crime world roped them in, like you said, tragically died, and now it's just him and him. He's the only one being able to take care of his mom.
I'll be intrigued because do you think there's a limited run, like just one season?
Yeah, I feel like this would be a nice bridge between now and the Batman Part 2. They said this is going to be leading into the Batman Part 2 in some kind of way.
I mean, this would be interesting to, in terms of, because we were talking about Victor, like seeing where he goes in this, like if he's going to be like all in on crime, if he can maybe find a way out. Could he run into Batman in the sequel? I don't know.
Possibly. But I think this is a limited series. I don't know if we're going to Penguin season 2. If we do, cool. But for me, I'm just going off of the my gut. This is going to be a limited series as a bridge. And it's going to be Penguin's rise to power. It's going to be very fascinating. Yeah. But again, I like his conniving nature. The writing of this show was very tight. In the sense of like, okay, I'm gonna come. I did this bad thing. I killed Falcone's son. So I'm gonna establish a alibi. I'm gonna go over to my ex, or at least my acquaintance. I don't know who she was.
Yeah, she looked familiar too.
Did she? I'm not sure.
I've seen her in something.
I have to take another stock or look. But she was like, okay, just say like after 10 or whatever. It was very funny, very cool. Calm, like very like quick, like they have a history. He's like helping her, she's helping him with his alibi. So there's that. But then you meet the chaotic factor of it all and the sister coming in. She somehow had a very good dynamic with her brother. Not somehow, but she had a very good dynamic with her brother. He visited her all the time in prison. And that was kind of like the emotional backdrop for her character. He was the only one that kind of like visited her, supported her. So him being dead isn't just like an erratic decision for Penguin, for Oz. It's also a horrible revelation for her. And that's going to be a very interesting dynamic for them. What?
So the actress I was thinking of, her name is Carmen Ihogo. She's been in a number of things, but I primarily know she was one of the crew members in the Covenant. That's why I know her face.
Alien Covenant?
Yeah.
Oh, the person, she's the one banging on the door saying, like, get me out of here.
Yeah, let me out.
Let me out. And the girl's like, I'm good.
Anyways.
So he's establishing that, moving over to meeting Victor, meeting the sister. She's, again, the chaotic agent of it all. She's immediately wondering where her brother is. And she's even more worried because Oz is using the revelation that, hey, the son was starting up a new drug shipment coming in next Tuesday or something like that. And it's going to revolutionize the drug world. Oz has no idea what it's about, but when pressed, because his company is about to be canceled, donezo, like delete it in 48 hours, or we got to move somewhere else, he doesn't want that to happen, but he pleads by using the excuse that the brother said, hey, there's this new drug. Don't cancel my shipments, my company just yet, because there's this new drug shipment. But they still say, no, delete it. But Sophia overhears it And that's when she's like, he only told me that. And he also said that he was going to be visiting you, or at least the Iceberg Lounge. Like, what's your deal? She's very much narrowing in that he did something, which I love. He realizes he's going to get caught eventually.
Yeah. So he's buying time, really.
She's buying time in establishing a plan with Victor all throughout this episode in terms of like, okay, you know, the whole body scenario, put him in the trunk, but also the ring was a big thing as well. So by getting the ring or going to visit Salvador Maroni, played by the great Clancy Brown.
I think his man in more things for like long periods of time, because I feel like he's about to get killed or something.
Oh, he's so dead by the end of the series.
Which just keeps happening to my guy, and like, or he's just there for like a few minutes, and I'm like, Clancy Brown can carry a long time.
If this is an animated show, he'd be alive forever because he's great at playing long-term villains on animated shows like Justice League Unlimited.
He's Invincible, isn't he?
Invincible. Oh, is he? Yeah, he's like the guy from season 2, the guy, and season 1, I think. No, season 2 mostly. Season 2, part 1 and part 2, where he defeats, Invincible's dad, and then threatens them to come fight him. So yeah, he's like one of the more powerful Viltrumites, the Viltrumite Empire. So good. He was great in Gen V.
For an episode.
But yeah. So by the way, again, Salvador Maroni was in prison because, as we learned, the Batman Falcone worked with like the Waynes and the police in terms of like ratting out Falcone, but ratting out Maroni, sending him to prison, allowing Falcone's rise to power. And of course, in the Batman, what hurt was because, like, presumably the Waynes knew about this, or at least his father knew about this, and the police, like, everything's corrupt. Which, oh my gosh. Either way, Riddler kills Falcone, and that kind of jumpstarts everything in this show. So Maroni could be on the rise, but when Maroni realizes that Oz has the ring that was passed down from the Falcone, she's like, "What's going on here?" And Penguin's like, "Oh, you can have this." And Falcone was like looking at it, so he has possession of the ring. And then cut to the end where we see Falcone's son's body, and without the missing finger, kind of alludes to like, hey, Maroni got the hit on the brother. Penguin is tied up, so it can't possibly be him. Fantastic editing, fantastic like storytelling in the span of one episode. We talk about this all the time, especially with your Disney Plus shows. I love most of them, but it's just like they're like steps towards a long-term goal. This show
was I all along.
Yeah. This show is all about like a singular story for one episode. Like, you can watch this episode and you're hooked to see what happens, throughout the rest of the series. But it's one singular story: how Oz met this boy, Victor, and how this boy helped Oz by the end of the episode. And now they're together. Now him and Sophia could work together in a very chaotic relationship. And then the war between Clancy Brown, Maroni crime syndicate versus Sophia, who is now in charge of the Falcone crime syndicate. And Oz can play the middle game, going through both sides because of his social dynamic and his relationship with both sides. Right. So he can probably play both sides, but he's mostly going to be working with Sophia, who now trusts him. Because again, he was tied up, she was torturing him, but it can't possibly be him.
Really good torture scene.
Great torture scene.
They kidnapped one of the kids who was trying to carjack the rims. Just this like low level like kid, and she's just like on it. It's like, you tell me I'm doing too much, that I'm crazy. And everything she was saying, I was like, this is clearly stuff like the doctors of Arkham have said to her too. And it's like, if you agree with this, if you don't agree with this, you're fucked, because it means you're lying. But if you agree to it, like you're gonna get on her bad side, I think, and you're fucked either way. And I'm like, oh my god.
It was great. She was like demented. She was going into it. It was fantastic.
No hesitation, shot this kid in the face. in the face.
And she knows he like had nothing to do with it, but she's like really just like saying like this is what I'm willing to do with Oz.
And then they fucking take a fucking garrote wire to his arm.
Yeah, that was wild.
Oh my God. That
Um,
was intense.
so it was a great torture scene. This show is
He'll be
really
flapping like a full penguin now.
this show is really nailing like the brutality, like the craziness of this show. It's really earning that R rating. I mean, it felt like a TVMA kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just because
I was like, Bruce, where are you?
yeah, he's just chilling. He's golfing with that.
Because a lot of this was in the day.
Yeah, he's golfing with Alfred during the day. So yeah, that was a very fascinating, very awesome premiere episode. It sucks. I don't know who at Warner Brothers / HBO decided this whole schedule. Let's premiere it September 19th on Thursday. And the next episode is like 10 days later on September 29th, next Sunday.
What?
Like this upcoming Sunday is the premiere, the second episode.
The 29th?
Yeah.
I mean, get that longevity, I guess, but what the fuck?
So now, yeah, it's coming out the 29th on Sunday at 9 p.m. And after that, it's going to premiere every Sunday after that. So the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, 27th at 9 p.m. I don't know why they released it on Thursday so early. It could have just been like this past Sunday. So it's just like a week apart.
How many episodes will there be?
6 or 8, I think.
Go into November.
The Penguin episodes doesn't say. Let's see. Doesn't matter. I'll find it. But yeah, let's start talking about let's end out our show here on Agatha, House of Harkness, which premiered the day before, on Wednesday, September 18th. So 1, 2. There's 8 episodes, by the way. November 10th is where it ends.
Okay.
But yeah, Agatha premieres every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Sucks for Agatha because that's Survivor time. Survivor's every Wednesday. Like, come on, you can't compete with Survivor, Agatha. You had Tuesday. I don't know why you decided to do it on Wednesday.
I'm sure she can compete.
I don't think she can.
What season are you on?
Yeah.
Survivor?
Season 47. What?
There'll be another season.
And I'll be on Survivor 51, guys. 51. That's my game plan.
You're gonna be on it?
I'm gonna be on it. That's the game plan. So Survivor 50, they're doing a huge like returnee season for Survivor 50, so I can't be on that. But and they're already filming Survivor 48 and 49.
You keep up the act like you have like a virtual background at the beach.
Yes. I'm practicing my confessionals. But anyways, let's talk about Agatha, House of Harkness. 2 episodes. You're right. It's Agatha all along. It's fine. But yeah, decent couple episodes. I didn't love these first 2 episodes, but I think the best part is Catherine Hahn's fantastic performance. She knows exactly what kind of shows he is in, and even within the meta of this world, she knows. It's hard to explain. Like her acting was so over the top in the first episode. It was slightly off-putting, but it worked because she's in a illusion spell created by Wanda.
Yeah. It's
playing
still a TV spell.
Exactly, and she's playing a cop.
Yeah. That opening, I think, was reminiscent of like True Blood.
True Blood, True Detective, Mayor of Easttown. They're all playing on like Mayor of Easttown and Mayor of like Eastview, kind of
Agnes of Westview, yeah.
Agnes of Westview, Mayor of Easttown. So I like that vibe, and yeah, she's playing a cop, even though she knows she's not supposed to be a cop. She's a witch, and I like her performance is alluding to that, where it's like very over the top. She goes to the library. It's like, what's going on? Where were you between 1 and 3 a.m.? What's going on here? Like this, yeah. I'm the cop. I'm the sheriff in this town. What's going on here? It's like very over the top, but it freaking works. And you can see the evolution of her acting between episode 1 and episode 2, where once she finally becomes Agatha, you're getting a much not toned down because Agatha's a witch and she's still crazy, but you can still get like you're getting normal Agatha in episode 2 in her conversations with the kid.
Mystery.
Which, by the way, Jalen and I are like, are they trying to make this a mystery? Or
I think so, because like the information was like a
is it
leaked
just
information. I'm pretty sure.
Is it just for the audience? Like, let's just rip the Band-Aid right now. Spoiler alert, non-spoiler. Because I think this is a Acolyte situation where I praised the Acolyte for revealing early on that there's 2 sisters in the show. The show was not marketed as a 2-sister show, but episode 1 quickly revealed, these characters are sisters. Spoiler for the Acolyte. Go watch it. And renew it. But in this show, they're very much not saying who the kid is. They're calling him like what's his name in the show?
It doesn't.
He doesn't have a name in the show. He's just the kid.
Agatha literally can't hear any information about his.
It seems like she's like, hey, say it again, and it's like, and
it's a cursive M over his mouth.
She can't hear it, but he knows what he's saying.
Yeah, he's thinks everything. I just said it.
Yeah,
but she can't. And then when
she can't hear,
she asks like, "Hey, what's your history? Like, what's your story?" He starts talking. Literally, he's like as if like in a program, his file's muted because she even like turns up the radio, hears that just fine. Here's the car driving, can't hear him.
Okay, I couldn't get the sense that like is she not being able to hear him or is just us? She calls him Teen. Okay, what's up, Draven? No, you're still here. Draven, did you like Penguin? By the way, we just talked all about Penguin. Oh wait, I missed all this stuff. Still a better mom than Tony Soprano. Very true. I had a fun conversation with my other co-teacher about Sopranos.
Also, it was an interesting point back in the DC universe.
I wonder if this means that they're going to do with Wally West to be their Flash instead of Barry Allen. Oh, in terms of like having established characters before the newer characters, that's very possible.
But it's so weird having these like younger next iterations next to Superman.
It is
Superman Prime.
It's very weird. So yeah, you love Penguin. I did too, man. I recommended it to my dad, who was like, my dad loves Penguin. He loves Batman. But he's like, am I gonna be interested in a show about the Penguin? I'm like, it could. Like, I get the hesitation because it's like a show about a side character. Usually those don't go well, but this one was good.
Even I was like, like, all right, Penguin show, cool. Like I wasn't like over the moon. Like, fuck, I got to tune into Penguin. I was like, even like, yeah, like, even when I heard like it was dropping or that people got screeners, I was like, fuck, it's out. Oh shit, yeah, hop on. I was pleasantly surprised not only of like how engaging it was, but also it's quite funny.
What's new with these great rain, but like extra pickles, they only gave me 2. Was it extra 1 or like what's the normal account 1? The whole pickle joke was very funny.
You want the ones from mine? The ones that your dirty ass mouth have been on now? Yeah, standards.
I also just don't like pickles. Disgusting.
I like pickles, but I prefer to get them off my sandwich.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. My sandwich. I'm a very plain eater. Just
I like a fried pickle.
Bacon, cheese, fried pickle. I don't know if I ever had a fried pickle.
Like sliced circles of pickles, like thin sliced circles of pickles, and you batter them and fry them. It's good.
I'll take your word for it. But yeah, going back to Agatha, I'm like they're calling him the Teen.
And the mystery.
And the mystery. Let's rip the Band-Aid for viewers who are unfamiliar.
Sure, spoilers.
I don't know if this is going to be a full spoiler because I'm like,
what if it's not true?
I would love that. I would love that. But, it felt like he was cast. And I asked Jalen, who Jalen isn't like, Jalen's always on Twitter, but he's not like on film/TV Twitter like we are. Sure. And I'm like, Jalen, do you know who he is? He's like, oh, yeah, he's playing Wanda's son. Spoiler. Wanda's son, Billy or Tommy, one of them?
Billy. Wiccan.
I think Billy. But yeah, Billy Wiccan, yes. And just please do not give me the episode 8 reveal end of the series.
Evan,
fuck you.
Evan.
What, Nathan?
I will say, even come the end, it's not. I don't think the reveal is oh fuck, it was Tommy all along.
Billy.
It's oh okay, Tommy's here, but you were fake in this universe. How are you here? Like that's an intriguing thought process.
That's the question. It's Billy. How is Billy still
because also
alive?
it's only been 3 years since WandaVision. I also like how this feels like a direct sequel to WandaVision.
It does, yeah, for sure.
It's only been 3 years since that event. Tommy is not aged to this level, to 16. I don't think he wasn't 13 in WandaVision.
And even post her quote unquote death in Multiverse of Madness,
which they're
like
addressing in this as well.
Exactly. So it's just like, did she she must have had an interaction with him to put a hex on him or something. So
something like that. I also wonder if there'll be a reversal of Wanda's arc in Multiverse, where maybe Billy's goal on this road is to get his mom back.
His goal is to get his, become stronger in the Force,
strong enough to fight Mephisto for his mother's soul or something.
Exactly. So, but similar to
let's not have that.
Nathan and Carson hated it. I did not mind it at all.
Evan, I was I fell out of my chair. Exaggerating, but because I
remember I saw it. I'm like, that's definitely not. They're not bringing in Quicksilver to the MCU.
Yes, they are. The multiverse saga's begun, and then they didn't.
They didn't. I was not fazed by it as much people were.
Cut to the next year in Doctor Strange. Look, Evan, it's Patrick Stewart.
Granted, Ralph Boner was an awful F you to the fans, but also yeah, Doctor Strange was. Anyways, I was gonna say. So yeah, hopefully this is a episode 4, halfway through the season. They find out who he is, but the mystery is how is he older? How does he have powers? What's
where's
he from?
His other brother.
Where's Tommy? Yeah, so it's does Tommy have the same powers as the Wiccan or different powers?
No, he's a speedster.
So Tommy's a speedster. Wiccan is the.
Oh no, this is Tommy, right? Billy is. Or am I mixing up? Billy is Wiccan?
No, you had it right the first time. Billy is Wiccan.
Billy's Wiccan, yeah. So Tommy is a speedster. Yes, that's right. Is his name Speed? No, is it?
Yeah,
Wiccan and Speed.
The Keanu Reeves movie.
Yes.
Which we gotta watch.
Yes.
But it's always been weird to me how Tommy gets the speed powers. I'm like, does speed and magic just come through the family after Magneto?
It is funny because I'm
weird. Isn't that
Because I'm also we're not gonna get any of any cybernetic birth DNA or anything.
Yeah, You would assume it goes oh, I have grandfather.
Well, no, because Wanda made the kid, so I get that. Never mind.
Oh, it's true. Never mind.
Right.
Great point. Yeah, that kind of solves everything there. Anyways, so yeah, Billy is the witch who doesn't know that his mom, or he does at least. We just don't.
Maybe, presumably.
Somebody said, I watched the video. Somebody was like, you can see him say Billy.
I would love to see a professional lip reader come in.
I'm I don't think you can.
Did anyone check the audio description?
I wouldn't be surprised if on set he said, yeah, my name is Billy Maximoff. And they just
probably
muted him in After Effects afterwards.
Even then, you could literally cut around the words he's actually saying on set as well, because we can't tell, we can't hear.
Yeah. So yeah, that was interesting. I really hope, because I feel for a lot of people, at least again, like Nathan said, maybe it's just the chronically online people but even if you aren't, I feel you just know whatever. But I just don't want it to be a huge mystery of the series. And granted, this show isn't built as a mystery, but other MCU shows always do these season-long mystery reveals. That just doesn't need to happen.
Sure, but also I can kind of see them doing an arc of because obviously Agatha is very cold to him throughout this. But what if they end up building a dynamic? But she hates Wanda, but this is her kid. But I've now grown attached to this kid, and he wants to bring her back. Do I fucking help him? What do I do?
Good point. That could be a fun dynamic for sure. Other fun dynamic, of course, we get Rio, played by the great Aubrey Plaza, who seemed to have a romantic past with Agatha, which I love. so much so that they call her like Agatha's Black Heart, which is very funny because she in episode 1 is kind of like toying with Agatha. She knows Agatha's in a illusion. Doesn't really try to help her. It's a kid that kind of helps her get out of that. But then episode 2, when she goes to try and kill Agatha, Agatha gets on her knees after losing the fight and says like, "Hey, don't kill me. I'm,
Don't you want the satisfaction of like fighting me at my fullest?
Exactly.
Doesn't this feel cheap for you?"
If I made the fullest, and then comes up with a deal or whatever. But I think Rio is going to be like that main villain by the end of this series. In terms of like,
I think so.
Agatha was going to betray the 5 witches that she gets along here. She's not telling them about Rio, which is bad. She even eats up the list because the other name on that list was probably Rio.
Well, they said it was like just a black heart written on there, and she was
great.
like, "That's because you wrote in a black pen." It was funny.
Yeah,
but
the black heart
it's very
is
clear.
Rio.
She's the Earth spirit witch that they need, which is like we even saw in the trailer. She ends up rising from the ground on the road.
Yeah,
so she's going to join them regardless.
Great part.
But
then Agatha knows, given that we saw in episode 2, that like Rio is not really in it for them. She's always in it for herself. Rio's a selfish character. So I can see, and so was Agatha. But like, I can see it being like, hey, at the end of the series, are you going to choose them or me? And like, Agatha's going to be like, the friends I made along the way kind of thing, where she comes to like support the other witches, support Billy, and then she's not going to betray them to Rio. Rio would be like, wow, you betrayed me again, and they fight. But I think it's gonna be more emotional, hopefully more emotional than that. Like I really like this Agatha Rio dynamic relationship, and hopefully they don't kill Rio off.
Right. I did also find it like interesting in regards because there's like it's one of those fun dynamics, right? Where like not everything is like detailed and explained in like expanded lore books. So I don't know how the witchcraft of the Marvel universe works, but like there's like a thing where Agatha is trying to get the witches to slip up so that she can absorb their power and steal it.
That's her ability. Yeah.
But when Rio offers like her own power for Agatha to absorb, it would kill her, she says. So like what is the dynamic there?
What's that?
Is it because it's a set curse? Is it because you did a spell that like broke apart your love and that's why your heart's black or something? I don't know.
That's fascinating. I love that. So hopefully we just get more Rio, we get more of their past together. I would love a good flashback between what went wrong in the past, why Rio was so ready to kill her in episode 2.
The flashback to the 1600s.
Please. So that'd be fun. And she's also Agatha is known as the Witch Killer. Reminded me of Ben Solo, the Jedi Killer. Where it's funny because like Agatha, similar to Ben Solo in that sense, it's like she didn't want to be a witch killer, but they were ready to kill her, so she lashed out against them. As we saw at the end of WandaVision, short flashback. So I would love to see more flashbacks with Agatha, more like fleshed out character. I think the only weakness of this show is like I'm not digging the side characters that much. They're mostly there for comedic relief a little bit, and just like they're pretty static characters. They're not giving me much, but hopefully the rest of the series, like once the show dives into like the witchiness, maybe because the first episodes were really much just like mystery, illusion-y, but they're not really diving into the witch of it all until the end of episode 2. So hopefully once we get into like the spooky, supernatural witch vibe, I can finally get into like the concept of the show.
Absolutely. I like their aesthetic on their own.
Too.
But yeah, we haven't really had enough time to like dive into them just off of the first like, hey, hello, my name is.
And that one person is just a random person, right? It's not even a witch.
Deborah Jo Rupp's character.
Yeah, the last old lady. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's a poor human who went through Wanda shit and now she's in it again.
Yeah. Also, I love the chant. People on the internet were like, being internet about it.
This song fucking slaps. Are you kidding?
It was good. I liked it a lot.
I love it. I was hooked from when I heard it in the trailer, and not hearing it in full, I was like, I was in the fucking witch trance, motherfucker. Like I loved it.
Yeah, I was like, give me witch songs all the time. It was great in Acolyte, great in Agatha. I'm down for it. Witches chant, guys. What a surprise! What'd you say?
Yeah, this will be on my Spotify as soon as it drops.
Oh, I'm not gonna go that far.
I will. I'll stream it twice as much for you.
Okay, which one are you gonna stream more? That one or the Linkin Park song?
I'm listening to Linkin Park right now.
Okay, of course you are, addict.
I am an addict. I'm listening to a version of What I've Done, but it's a distorted remix.
Interesting.
Really cool.
Like right now, as I'm talking to you, you listening to it right now? Okay. Do you hear a word I said for the last hour and 40 minutes? I'm kidding. But yeah, overall fun premiere. I think again, like the tone was kind of topsy-turvy, but once they finally get into the concept of the witches in the show, I think I'll finally be hooked. I think people who said the same thing, they're like, we watched the first, like critics watched the first 4 episodes out of 8, and they said it gets better as it, once they get into like the witches, once you're on the road and you're getting some crazy shit. Like, I think I'm ready for that. Like the show said, like it was gonna be more of a horror, but not like horror. It's just more of like a hocus pocus horror.
Yeah.
And more creepy stuff. And it still has to follow the Marvel guidelines and storytelling. So it can't go full horror.
It'll be self-contained to the mystical side of Marvel.
Exactly. So I'm down for that. And some theories, could this lead to the resurrection of Wanda? We see a dead body at the beginning of the series. Like it could be a resurrection of Wanda at the very end. Billy connecting with his mother could bring her back and his powers back. Yeah. That'd be exciting,
I think she gets brought back in this. If at the
I don't know.
least.
That seems like such a pivotal moment, though. Bringing back Scarlet Witch in a Disney Plus series. I don't know.
Where her last big story was in the Disney Plus series.
I know, that's a good point.
Like probably her biggest arc in the whole year.
Good point.
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, I love like the little like lead up crumbs to like that reveal too, just like the black fingertips, but like it was the illusion of like dug through soil. And the slow reveals of like the hair and whatnot.
Yeah. Also, to what it's worth, the body had no shoes. They made a point about the investigation that like the body was moved. Who was she running from? She has no shoes on. At the end of at the end of episode 2, they took their shoes off to enter the witch's road. The road. So it's like maybe a Scarlet Witch once traveled on the witch's road. Maybe she's at the very end.
Maybe. I think I ended up taking that more as like her body was moved as like, well, she died in a mountain.
Yeah,
so
that's fine. Is that fair enough? Yeah, maybe I'm just bullshitting.
But they also addressed the point that like she destroyed the Darkhold in every universe, so like there's no Darkhold for this story.
And I like that. Like they go to the library, it's like all fire and burn because like Scarlet Witch burned it. Yeah, we saw that in Multiverse of Madness.
So that'll be fun. I'm very much looking forward to that. I would imagine if they do that Wanda would become a player in the Vision Quest project, because I don't know how you just solely have Vision on his own recollecting memories by himself without having Wanda a part of that.
But wouldn't that just be WandaVision season 2? I think it's going to be similar to this show where Agatha is the main character. Paul Bettany's Vision is going to be the main character. Maybe we get some Wanda at the end of Vision. I don't know. I think I'll become
sure it'll
more.
Mostly be flashback scenes.
Flashbacks could work. Yeah, that could work as well. We'll have to wait and see. So that's about it for today. I enjoyed Penguin. I enjoyed WandaVision. DC Marvel doing their thing.
There seems to be like some Easter egg crumbs in like the end credits as well. I didn't like dive in like looking because I just watched, but like I know like we have a Wizard of Oz story episode coming, and like that was sprinkled into the end credits. Like there are a lot of different like witches imagery. There's even like Simpsons because this is Disney.
So are we going to Kansas? Is what you're saying?
Springfield.
That sounds exciting. So 8 episodes. So I guess we'll be going into November with this show, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and it's interesting too because like if we have like 6 more episodes to do this whole road journey, like we must be building up like a lot of time of the dynamic of this team. So I'm looking forward to that.
Me too. Yeah, for sure. So okay, yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Harris EV9, XJ9, and haven't done that in a while. And yeah, I've been really lacking behind on my Star Wars content. I've had, I showcased I was reading a Star Wars book, but I haven't read it in like a week or so. I've just been too busy playing games and reading other stuff. So I really want to use this week to finally finish that middle grade Star Wars book, because a new book is getting sent to my house tomorrow. I'm like, I want to read that book even more so than the other book I just got. But I want to read everything in order. So I have to wait. That's the appeal of the High Republic. There's always a new month, a new High Republic book, comic, something. So Star Wars is always on the brain, always trying to renew and save the Acolyte season 1 as always as well. And yeah, Nathan, have you seen Transformers 1 yet, by the way?
Going tomorrow.
So maybe next week we can do a review about that, because I really enjoyed that movie. Very surprising, very good time. So yeah, maybe next week we can have other movie reviews. You seen Megalopolis this weekend as well? Are you seeing Wild Robot?
I don't think I'm gonna get to Wild Robot and Megalopolis this weekend. I'm doing a big movie thing tomorrow. I'm going to see Speak No Evil, and I'm going to see The Substance.
I might be going tomorrow too to see that. So yeah, we can talk about that as well.
Stack day there, and then like I'll be waiting to the next week when Joker comes out to do
3. Nice. So yeah, that's about me. Where can they find you, Nathan? Where are you these days?
Yeah, you can find me at _TimeBlazer, making a show called Time Blazer with co-starring Chris on Evan Harris.
Playing Ben, who is not on the Witch's Road just yet.
But also, if you want to experience not only Time Blazer, but many other animated projects, I have a new channel that you can go and visit called Naro Animations, Naro Animations. It is live. It is there. Please subscribe. Yeah, new stuff coming.
Is it now? Is it wow?
It's now. It's not wow yet. Nothing's on there yet. And the how is difficult to explain, but it's there.
I mean, just create another account.
Well, an existing account that I've converted. Yes. But it's going to be a good time. I have not only will like Time Blazer live there, but also I'm just gonna have like fun story time animations. There's surprisingly a lot of stories I could tell in the fun like little quick cut animation format. So that'll be fun.
Great. I'm happy for you. I'll definitely like and subscribe.
Ring the bell.
I'll ring a bell.
You can do that here, but I mean, fucking.
Okay.
Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. That being said, hope you have a great day. We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace out.